is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys saw, we were just offloading the car from last weekend, Oklahoma City. So we went testing Friday night, kind of blew the tires off a few times, and then we made a decent pass, went A to B, and the car actually blew off a radiator hose. It blew off this lower one that comes up to the thermostat housing, which is a stainless steel pipe with a coupler, which will pretty much be changing all this stuff up. But I've already got the front bumper off. Took me like 2 seconds. But you can tell that the system was pressurized because this coupler actually moved pretty far back. So not sure exactly what went wrong, but I already talked to Will, RPG Engines. He's gonna take care of it for us. He's gonna break it down. He's gonna tell us exactly what went wrong. And then I'll have an updated video for you guys probably in the next week or two, because I got to get all this pulled out, get it shipped off to RPG Engines in California, and then he's going to look it over, send us some pictures, give us his analysis, and we'll get the motor refreshened up if that's what needs to be done. So fortunately, this kind of worked out. I had already spoke to Will about refreshing the engine for next year, just as a preventative maintenance, and really because I wanted to see how the motor has held up for the past year. I've had it in pretty much a year, and I've put a decent amount of passes on it, guys. A lot of people don't understand, but I'm going racing, and it might not show in the videos, but you know, I'm going racing, you know, 2 to 3 times a month, sometimes only once a month, but I do have a lot of passes on the car because when I go to an event, I hit the test and tune the night before or the morning of the race, and then I'm usually in 2 classes. So this motor has a lot of passes on it. Now this motor is gonna last a lot longer. Not really sure what happened. The tune looked good, everything looked good. So Will's gonna tear it apart. He's not too worried about it. He's pretty sure the motor's good to go, but he's gonna tear it apart, and it'll be awesome because I can show you guys what actually happened, and we can break it down, and we can actually show you how well this motor's holding up over, you know, the course of a year and beating the crap out of it and how many passes I have on it. So anyways, you guys will see that in another video. What we're actually doing today is I'm starting to tear the car apart, 1, because I'm gonna ship the motor off to Will, and 2, because we're changing the entire setup on this car. Literally front to back, this car will be completely different. So I did end up selling my turbo kit. I sold the turbo, the exhaust, the air to water system, the crossover pipe, the merge pipe, essentially everything minus the headers, wastegates, and blow valves, because I'll be reusing those for the future turbo kit. But I did actually sell all of this. So all of this has to come off tonight. I've got to get it shipped out this week. And that's literally step 1 to this massive project we have coming up. And I can't wait to show you guys what we're actually doing. But kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. This is obviously just the compressor cover, but the rest of the turbo is at Joe's house. So we are switching to a Siley air-to-air intercooler. I need to save some weight in this car. And his air-to-air intercoolers have been proven to do really well. Now the IATs obviously won't be as good as the air-to-water system, but I need to lose some weight in this car, and that's one of the ways we're gonna lose some weight. We're also gonna be upgrading everything on the turbo system to some nice dual seal VAN clamps on everything. So I'll show you guys when all that stuff comes in. But we're gonna be upgrading the turbo, upgrading the intercooler, not really upgrading the intercooler, kind of just switching methods here from air to water to an air to air. And then I'll kind of go over exactly how we're going to do the turbo kit once we get to that point. But this is kind of step 1 of a major overhaul process that we have going on. So I'm going to get working on this, start draining all the fluids out, and then we're just going to get cranking on it. Alright guys, little update. Got all the cold side piping off, got the air to water off, drained all the water out of it, got the exhaust off, got the overflow can off. So pretty much next thing to do is get the turbo off and then get the hot side pipes off, remove the oil lines, get the fan out, and then that'll pretty much be it for the turbo system, because I'm giving him my old ice tank, which is actually a larger 10-gallon ice tank. But here's the turbo kit if you guys have never seen it. A lot of this stuff we're gonna have to redo because we're most likely changing where the turbo placement is actually at. So pretty much none of this stuff is gonna work for my system. So this is the overflow radiator can that we custom made to work with my setup. And then this is the hard line. So if you guys haven't done this, I highly recommend this. So there's a stock upper radiator hose that comes off of this plastic tee right here. and that one is a plastic coupler that comes over here. So Power by the Hour sells this super nice aluminum billet coupler, and then you just weld obviously a hard pipe onto it, and we made that fit just like that right there for the stock radiator. So I'm gonna send this with the kit. I forgot to mention this to him, so I'm just gonna send it with the kit, and I already have another one of these couplers for the new kit we're gonna make. But you got the top cold side pipe that goes to the throttle body, bottlenecks down, and then this is the lower intercooler pipe, and then this is the main one off the turbo for the blow-off valve. And we actually got a ding in it one time. We were chasing a boost leak, so we actually added this weld to it. It never ended up being that was the leak, but we did have this little weld there because that's what we thought the cause was of the boost leak. Got the 5-inch downpipe here with the V-band. Got the custom bracket we made for the Aldo Welds air to water to hang up. If you guys are wondering, this Aldo Welds intercooler literally only weighs 20 pounds. I just weighed it. It's freaking light as hell. This is a super nice piece that I ended up polishing myself. Look at that mirror finish. So that's all the cold side stuff. Now, like I said, I got to get the turbo off. Got to get the merge off the crossover pipe, and then, like I said, that'll essentially be the turbo kit. Cupcake, hey, come here. Come here. Get your camera time. Shout out your IG. What's your OnlyFans? How much is it? So, oh yeah, look, Bagged Cat's back in here. So I'm gonna keep cranking on this, and I'll update you guys when we get the rest of it off. All right, guys, so we got the turbo system. I'm knocking stuff over. Got the turbo system completely out. I just got to remove lower radiator hose because I'm gonna send that with it. Send the oil return line with it. But I am, like I said, keeping the wastegates, keeping the blow-off valve. Everything else is going. So this is all the hot parts. Originally these were CG Fab. This one is actually still CG Fab, but this one we had to remake for the T6 flange for the larger Borg Warner that we used. Then all the pipes that I showed you earlier, and there's the Borg Warner turbo. So that's pretty much it for the turbo kit. I'm gonna see if he wants to take the ice tank lines or if he just wants to buy his own. They're pretty cheap. They're just 3/4 inch lines. I've got to remove the pump, send him the pump, send him all the fittings and everything, and attach them back to the old tank. And then what we're gonna do is probably actually just, because this tank is just merged by a weld, they're obviously not together, they're just two tanks welded together. So Joe and I are probably just gonna cut this weld here, cut it there, and remove that ice tank, or just keep it there because it's not very much weight, because there'll be no pump or anything attached to it. It'll just be a dry tank. So that'll completely remove the air to water system out of the car. And that'll pretty much be it for the turbo system. And then we're gonna start working on pulling the motor next and pulling some other stuff that I have sold. And as I was tearing apart the turbo kit, I actually think I figured out maybe not exactly what happened with the motor, but definitely the cause, or one of the causes of the motor. I just don't know like the series of events, how it actually happened, but you guys will see that on the next video. So like I said, this is kind of weird. I'm sure this hurts Joe as well because he put a lot of time into this. He welded all this stuff. This is all literally custom made besides the CG Fab headers and the one crossover pipe that we kept. But we ended up, it's really cool. You know, we started from scratch with this. This car was the first 2018 Gen 3 car that was single turbo. Everyone else only had twin turbos at the time. And we were the first ones to venture into the single turbo kit. And we ran into a lot of issues because we were the first ones doing it, a lot of fitment issues, and we kind of just made it work with what we had, and it ended up being a super good kit. I ran 820s on the stock motor. Definitely could have ran it further, but at that time I wanted to build the motor and have a good core. I didn't want to blow up the motor and have to buy a core and then get that one built. So this turbo system, you know, it's got a lot of good memories on it. We've had it for a year and a half, I guess. You know, we've made about 3 different iterations to it. We started with a cheaper air-to-air intercooler. We ran into IAT issues, so we switched to a very nice Aldo Welds air-to-water, made that fit, did a bunch of fab work, made a bracket for it, changed the intercooler pipes again, and then we upgraded turbo sizes twice, you know, because originally the Precision 7675 that we had, it just wouldn't work with this high compression motor, and the heads flowed too much, so it had a ton of back pressure issues. So we switched to a Borg Warner 7687, and that took us to the 820s. Like I said, could have probably gone a little bit faster, but when I pulled the motor and built the motor, I ended up upgrading to the turbo. And I think for the longest time, I actually didn't say the turbo size, but this is just a off-the-shelf. It's not a special Jose unit or anything specially ported. It's just literally an off-the-shelf Bog Warner 8888, and it's got a 132 AR housing on it. It's a T6 turbo. It's a really good turbo. It can make like over 1500 to the crank. We're making about 13 to 1350 to the wheel with it, and it could definitely have made some more steam, but I'm just at that point where I'm ready to upgrade for next year. And so I'm selling this. Everything works really good. It's made a lot of power. This system's been super fast and it's been super reliable. And like I said, this kit for me and Joe has a lot of memories on it. So it's kind of sad to see it go, but it is kind of cool to see someone put it on their car and you know, see what they can do with it personally. And this is kind of the next generation for me. Not generation, but next iteration for me to make the car go faster and to make some more power. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, there is a ton of content coming back up because we've removed, or we're going to be removing, a lot of things. We got to ship the motor out, and then after we ship the motor out, kind of explain to you guys what the next thing that I'm taking off the car to prepare the car for the next step. And then hopefully in a few weeks we'll get to start working on moving some stuff around. I can't say too much, I don't want to give it away, but move some stuff around for the new turbo kit and for all the other new stuff that we have coming in. So there's a lot of work to be had. It's gonna be a long but short off season because I really want to have the car back up and running by January, if not February at the latest. I want to get it out testing, so it's gonna be a whole new setup front to back. And so we got a lot of work to be done, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the tank stain content. Make sure you comment down below what you think is coming next, but I will see you guys on the next one.